Not too far from Highway 80 is the historic Goldrush Boomtown of Dutch Flat. Today it looks like this, but let's check out how it used to be, and I'll tell you of its interesting history. Dutch Flat, also Dutchman's Flat, Dutch Charlie's Flat, and Charlie's Flat, is a small unincorporated community in Placer County. It's about 30 miles northeast of Auburn along Interstate 80. It was founded by German immigrants in 1851 and was once one of the richest gold mining locations in California. Dutch Flat is now registered as a California Historical Landmark. As I said before, Dutch Flat was founded by two German brothers by the name of Dornbach, and to the south of their settlement was the busy mining camp of Green Valley, where 2,000 men were already hard at work when the Dornbachs arrived. Across the Bear River in Nevada County was another camp, Little York, and just west, a trading post at Cold Springs, later known as Gold Run. All these camps were supplied by mule train from Illinois Town, near today's Colfax. Mule drivers referred to the Dornbachs camp as Dutch Charlie's Flat, and thus the town was named. During this period, many Germans were referred as Dutch as a shorthand for Deutschland. In the 1870s, an attempt was made to change the name to German level. The Dutch Flat Post Office opened in 1856. Here is a photo from 1960 and another how it looks today. While Dutch Flat was originally settled by miners, it first gained prominence as an important stagecoach stop, making it one of the largest and most important towns in Placer County from about 1864 to 1866. In the fall of 1866, however, the railroad had reached Cisco, 20 miles further up the ridge, and Dutch Flat lost most of its importance as a stage stop. In 1859, Dr. Daniel Strong of Dutch Flat invited railroad surveyor and later chief of the Central Pacific Railroad Theodore Judah to come evaluate a possible route across the Sierra Nevada mountains. One of the largest mining ditches to reach Dutch Flat had in effect demonstrated the existence of easy grades up to Emigrant Gap, and from there, the line of the old Donner Trail across the Sierra Nevada was also such that a railroad could be built. Judah argued vociferously for the Central Pacific as financial backers, including California's Big Four, Leland Stanford, Collis Huntington, Mark Hopkins, and Charles Crocker to employ the route for a Trans-Sierra route that would link up to existing Union Pacific service in Utah or Nevada, instead of Huntington's less ambitious plan to cater to the lucrative stage and wagon-hauled freight between Sacramento and the Comstock mining boom by building a well-surfaced toll road from Dutch Flat to Donner Lake, then onward to Carson Valley in Nevada. Theodore Judah may have been the most vocal critic of the Dutch Flat Donner Pass wagon road, but he wasn't the only opponent. San Francisco investors, Sierra miners, and even the general public believed the Central Pacific Railroad was focused on only getting their line built to Dutch Flat. Other Californians believed the whole railroad construction project was a scam and that no one, not even crazy Judah, had ever really figured out a practicable route through the Sierra Range. The perception of greed raised the brow of many. Many newspapers from all around boldly accused the railroad of being a scam and swindling and scheming to bid their own will that would only profit them. Despite the intense backlash, there was never any foundation to the stories spread by the detractors of the Central Pacific Railroad. Judah's successor as chief engineer, Samuel Montague, was immediately ordered to keep surveying the future route as far as the Big Bend of the Truckee River, more than 40 miles east of the California border. Obviously, there would be no doubt among the Big Four that the Central Pacific Line would eventually connect with the Union Pacific somewhere in Utah or the Nevada Territory. Mining operations at Dutch Flat reached their peak during the 1870s, with thousands of miners working the surrounding area. Prior to the 1870s, gold mining was often a solitary and small-scale pursuit. In 1872, however, the Cedar Creek Company of London purchased over 30 claims in the area and began working them in a more aggressive and industrial fashion, employing hydraulic mining to reach unreachable deposits of gold by literally blasting it out of alluvial deposits with high-pressure water cannons known as monitors. The many dozens of mining claims dividing the old channel gravels beside Dutch Flat and Gold Run made for a thriving economy. In January 1884, however, in a historic verdict, a United States District Court banned the flushing of debris into streams. Implementing the decision was difficult, as many miners refused to accept the court decision. Court challenges were filed, injunctions were disobeyed, inspectors were threatened with violence, but eventually hydraulic operations were brought to an end. Lumber was a prominent industry in Dutch Flat's history also. From 1861 to 1907, the Tolley Brothers Lumber Company was among the largest in the entire state, owning over 20,000 acres of land with its own private narrow-gauge railroad 38 miles long, and employing a workforce of around 200 men, including 50 Chinese workers. Dutch Flat had its own Chinatown too. It began in the 1850s, and by the late 1860s, when the Transcontinental Railroad was under construction, it was one of the largest Chinese settlements outside of San Francisco. In 1853, Dutch Flat had a population of 6,000, including 3,500 Chinese. In 1877, Old Chinatown burned down, and the settlement relocated south of town near the Dutch Flat Depot. Adjoining the Pioneer American Cemetery just above town is the Chinese burial grounds. In the 19th century, Dutch Flat was referred to by the residents as the Athens of the foothills. It had a thriving amateur dramatical society and debating society. Mark Twain lectured at the Dutch Flat Opera House, and it was mentioned frequently in the works by Bret Harte. As of 2009, Dutch Flat had 333 residents and is designated as a semi-ghost town. And while tourism now makes up most of the local economy with cafes and bed and breakfast style inns, many of its current residents are retirees, families, and professionals that commute to nearby jobs. There is a museum located on the main street and is open in the summers. Some of the old remaining buildings here include the Dutch Flat Hotel, built in 1853, the Methodist Church, built in 1861, the Old Dutch Flat Grammar School, built in 1898, and both the Odd Fellows Hall and Masonic Hall are both pre-1856. Have you been to Dutch Flat? If you haven't, it is worth the detour off the big fancy highway to check it out. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's free, and you can watch over 500 videos like this about Northern California's amazing history. And as always, happy trails!